Alrighty, it is 8:05 and we have our quorum, so we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Our representative, the mayor, is sick this morning, so I will fill her in later. Okay, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Chris, all right, Chris and Allison. And we don't have any visitors this morning, so we will move on to old business with the streetscape project. And sir, how do I pronounce your name correctly? Sinan. Okay. All right.
City Public Works Department.
Right.
And so I'm here to share an update on the streetscape project. I think that's your agenda.
Yes. Yes.
And so I work with Renee. The project, the project is in this status of signing an agreement with the St. Louis County project team to pursue the improvements that the city of Webster Groves wants out of the project that the county is implementing along the corridor. And so the Big Bend Boulevard is under St. Louis County, and so they have a project, one of their arterial road system projects, for which the county, the agency, has a grant, one of those federal aid grants. So we're all a bit worried about the money and all that, but we don't believe there's a problem in terms of the funding stream for that. This is one of the already committed streams of funding. And so what we're trying to get out of for the city of Webster Groves is more an enhanced project rather than just what the county would do. That their plan, I should go over that first. Their plan is to mostly improve their pavement. Pavement is in rough shape in the area, as well as do sidewalk and pedestrian improvements. And so one of which is at Alma intersection. They're planning to bump that out into the street, and so and place a pedestrian crossing right there. I don't believe there is one right now, so not marked at least, and so bump outs in the streets, make the pedestrian crossing distance shorter, bring the pedestrians in front more into a visible area by the motorists, so that they see and observe and view better to pedestrians. And but outside of that, it's mostly sidewalks, selected sidewalk replacements, curb replacements as needed. This is the county scope of the work. They are doing some work at the signalized intersection at South Elm at Big Bend, that intersection. But not necessarily like replacing the entire signal equipment or anything like that. They have two other bump out locations. Again, for pedestrian benefits. But what we want out of the project is more an enhanced corridor with pedestrian scale lighting and possible other amenities. And so right now, what we did was we went to the county, asked them, hey, county, we want this out of your project. Are you open to this? And they said, yes, what do you want? And so we explained to them this pedestrian scale lighting is a major item that we would like. In these types of projects, when the project does work in the area, there's things out. It's a good time to incorporate all these components into the project when this is all being done. So we would need a conduit, underground conduit for power purposes to these lights and such. So it's best to do this at the same time as the county, so that the county does a good job and come back and dig it later. Plus, this is a county right away, so whatever we would need to do there ourselves, that would need to be done under a county permit. And so, but if we're doing this all together with their project, then it's gonna be all their project. So, this is, so far, the county's response was that they had a design engineer, on the job. And so they, opened their services to us. They said that we could additionally contract, well, we don't contract with them. They can expand the scope of this design engineer to incorporate the electrical, the conduit and the systems, the decorative lights, the pedestrian scale lights, and whatever else we want from the project. So far, the scope agreement, the scope proposal that they gave us was to incorporate pedestrian scale lighting on the north side of the street, just on one side, and do that engineering under their contract with the county's engineer. The county doesn't do engineering themselves; they have a consultant that does it for them. So they have an agreement between them and the consultant. So they need to update that agreement. That hasn't occurred so far, but the county wants to finalize that sometime between now and probably like mid-spring. So because they have some deadlines that they have to keep on the grant project, so we don't want to miss those. And this project actually is this current federal fiscal year up to the end of September is their design year. And next federal fiscal year, starting in October, is their construction. I think I'll verify that. But what they need to do is, like by about June or July, they need to submit design submittals and get those approved to be able to encumber future funding in their project. We have a decision timeline that is not. Well, it's somewhat quick. What we would like to do is to finalize that agreement, the scope revision agreement with the county. County needs to take this through their channels for approval. And county will additionally require a maintenance agreement after the improvements are completed. So, because this is not the county standard, but the lights are not the county standard, but they're gonna exist in their right away, under their maintenance. So they're gonna say, this is the maintenance responsibility of this is transferred to the city of Webster Groove. Something happens with these lights, the city of Webster Groove is responsible for that. I believe we're ready to sign under that. That's where we are. The one detail about this is if these lights are installed on the north side of the corridor, there are emerald lights, tall lights, they're corridor type lighting. Those will need to come out. Otherwise, it's going to be a very crowded corridor. Like a lot of, I mean, we can always install these in between those lights, but there will be a lot of obstructions in a very narrow sidewalk corridor. There are ways to do both. So the current lighting is roadway lighting. I don't know how much lighting roadway needs there necessarily because there's residual light from the storefronts. There's generally, I think, there's festive lighting probably sometimes. There are not. So that is a possibility with decorative lighting. So we can discuss that. Those are the design level decisions. We can have receptacles on those poles. We can have certain possible future connections for if we want to see lights between those. Although these are not going to be across the street because the lights are only on one side of the street. However, we can also make decisions as you know, incorporate lights maybe in a staggered manner on both sides of the street. So overall, I would like to, I mean, you are aware of this, it's a very narrow area. The buildings are not set back too far. I previously worked in the Dalmar Loop area in University City. There we could do more because we had more sidewalk, and then there was an area where we called storefront becomes, I think, almost like another flat or area that separated the buildings from the edge of the public sidewalk, and so that was all, but certainly more here we have buildings closer, and so one of the things that can be done with the roadway lighting, you may have seen it in St. Charles, Fifth Street, they have those, I think it's for Fifth Street, I think, the lights that are the same pole, one side is the roadway lighting, the other side is the pedestrian lighting, on the same pole, do both at the same time. But then you would need to have the arms on the back side toward the buildings, and I don't know if they're gonna be too close. So we have some limitations, however, we can work around certain things, design ideas, that will come to play more as we sign this agreement and the county's design engineer starts working on our part of our components of the design.
So we have been working on the streetscape design for nearly decades in this business district. Have you looked at the design that we have created for our business district and where it comes up over the railroad tracks? What we have already talked to county about previously, how we have tried to secure grants for this streetscape design. I feel like we're kind of reinventing the wheel each and every time. And I feel like we, as a business district, have put together a really well-developed design several times. And we keep talking about sitting down with county, which we have sat down with county on several occasions previously for a design. And then I feel like that we keep talking about sitting down with county, even in this design scope, where the latest we were given is that construction will start in 2027, but now we're in February of 2025, and we have not sat down with county as a business district and talked about any of these designs and how our previous designs that we have put together are going to be implemented or put in. And you are talking about lights on the northern side of the street, but we have already put together a light design that we have desired for our business district. And we have a fairly well-developed design. Are you even aware of this design?
I apologize for being late to the downtown with the bad traffic accident on 64. Respectfully, we have not seen it, and please remember, neither of us have been here a year. So if we could get some grace and we can try to find the documentation that we're referring to, because I've never seen anything, and actually, I know we've had a lot of conversations, but I did not know that you all said them before. But bear in mind, this is the furthest traction that has been made, because the county is actually getting ready to break ground, and we have to work behind them, so we don't have control of their timeline. We can't work behind them. So I'm sure you all know that, but I just want to reiterate, we're still at their mercy.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but as a group right now, let's sit down and figure out a timeline between us where you can locate the documents that you need to locate, and we can locate them from our records, so we can all become familiar with the design we have already put together, so that when we sit down with county, we can all be on the same sheet of music and not reinvent the wheel each and every time to be more effective. Oh, no, they were very well developed community input. The very first one was in 1998 called the Booker Study. Okay. And it was very well developed. It's a book like this. It's the Booker Study. And it was on the website for quite some time. I don't believe it's on the website anymore. I could not locate it on the website, and I'm trying to locate a hard copy of it. Well, I understand, but at that time, it was a fairly expensive study that our business district paid for. Then we redeveloped a new study from that Booker study, which we paid roughly $33,000 for from our business district. Okay, and that was under Mara Perry. I don't know that it was named a specific study, but I'm pretty sure some of us can come up with that study. And then under Eric Peterson, we were asked to give into a Google document specific things we wanted to develop on that design, which was the benches, the trash cans, a clock tower that we wanted in that area, how we wanted to develop the bridge over Highway 44 on Big Bend. Do we want it to be a sitting park area? I just don't feel like any of that information has gone anywhere. And if we are going to start construction in 2027, I don't think we need to keep wasting time. I think we need to take the information we've already had. There was a circle roundabout, traffic circle roundabout that would be located in front of Chris Westmire's business as you came over the railroad tracks. Or what was it, planters in front of, that would divide that to keep you from, you have,
God, all you have to do is type with respect to Webster Groves, you'll get streetscape updates, notes, things like that. We can share any of that with you. I think the point is spent years, hundreds of hours. We have a plan somewhere.
we have a plan.
But that will answer a lot of questions if we hit on both sides of the lighting and all that. So instead of making you go back through all that again, you can see if this is approved, probably easier. Since I don't have access to all the files that Eric has or Harry or anyone, I don't know how to find that stuff.
Right.
I don't know where to go. I don't know where they store stuff.
We have seen a concept from this county though, that was
Yeah.
presented last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The county presented
that
the concept to us.
updated in the last 6 months, the county's concept.
It's
engineering. If we have, there are preliminary engineering.
So we would like to be in that loop, as if you're seeing new things on that concept plan, on the design plan, we need to be in that loop now. It's the sooner the better, so that we can feed some of these ideas and things to you to make sure that if it's possible, that these things can happen.
It's not with design concept.
So in the construction drawings, they wouldn't have like the outline of the make and model of the pole or anything. They wouldn't, they would just have the underground stuff. Okay.
But however, they're not at that level, so that's the project plan specification estimates. So probably we have like 50% and then 70%, and then 100% completion in design. This design is probably at like about between 50 and 70 somewhere.
I'm gonna jump over one thing real quick. On the bump outs that you saw, the original plan from the city had bump outs. It made it a 2-lane road and
Mhm.
everywhere had bump outs.
Right.
Every side, every corner, not just Alma. They were on the corner of like, I own the Digital Strike, the 3 buildings on one side. They had bump outs there and they've been out measuring and out there. So I assumed that they were including those in the design they shared with you, because I was talking to one of the county people. I was like, what are you guys up to? Because I didn't know who it was. He goes, oh, we're measuring for all this. I was like, okay, cool. It's moving along. Do you see all those bump outs in your design?
I see 3 sets.
Okay. So like there's parking on both sides of the road and there's bump outs on each to protect the people and
Yes.
stuff, right? Okay.
Delineate the parking areas.
Yep.
So the parking opens up for parking.
Is it possible to see that design just so
I
we
think
can
it's
see
on
it?
the county site.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I think
'Cause
there's a project number or something assigned to it where you can go into the county site and pull up the preliminary stuff.
Perfect.
Well, that's what,
If we have that number, then we can go look and say, this is 90% of the way done, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that design would be, that would not include it.
Not include the lighting and not include, but at least we would see the bump outs and how they're dealing with, because they were trying to make one street one way. And then you can't turn left onto one street when you come over it. They were going to shut down because I would say in the last 4 weeks, there's been 2 accidents that happened right in front of our building at where Gore and Big Bend hit each other. People run into each other all the time, and they were going to try to do something to adjust that.
We had already paid for a traffic study there, and they were going to make Baker one way there and either have a traffic circle at Big Bend and Gore, or have kind of like what it is on Lockwood, where you have like planters there that would stop you from turning left onto Gore. We had an entire traffic study done that we had already paid
Yeah.
for.
Curious to see where that ended up, like what they ended up doing.
It was not in the concept. I can tell you that just from memory.
Right.
None of that stuff was.
But
Right.
they paid for it, didn't they?
No, we did.
Oh, we paid for it.
We
Okay.
paid for it as a business district.
Okay.
And a lot of this, Booker was an engineer.
Yes, way back when. But we paid for the traffic study probably in the past 3 years. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because that was, and we did have a public hearing. We had several homeowners on
Yep.
that street.
There were. they
On
wanted to-
Sylvester show up and talk to us at our meeting. Mhm. And Kenilworth.
And
yeah.
Kenilworth.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the streets around there, they were showing up for the meeting to speak about it.
So
We've done a lot of in-depth work on this, and I just feel like it's not,
certainly discover, find that out and get it to the county. County may have already researched some of it themselves, I'm not sure. And they have a certain scope probably on this project. That when they scoped the project, I don't know if they were aware of these additional items. But I think whatever we do now is going to be under that scope of the county's additional, they're accepting additional work into their project. It's just they're saying
Yeah.
that we will be responsible
For the maintenance.
developing it, constructing it together with their project and making it.
So here's the stuff about all this from the documents. Do you need this information? This came from Eric, he sent it to me.
This I can get from the county, so the county would have
Okay.
this.
Okay.
But any additional studies like,
I've gotten, so you can see kind of how they were dealing with the road right there. How they're
Oh, yeah.
pulling that out.
Yeah.
You have all that?
I do have this. yes.
Okay, okay. So you've got that file. Okay. I'm trying to find anything I can send over to you guys that's Eric. If you could give it to you.
So what we don't have or don't know about is the study that you heard. It's not the county files. Created those files for the county. But what we don't have, or I've not seen, is the studies that, not studies, but concepts that you all have developed. Because this is the first time I'm hearing about that.
Okay, well,
I've only heard a few bits.
the Booker study was under Roger Grow. The next study was under Mara Perry, and all the concepts that were added on to that were under Eric Peterson. So, and they're all, I mean, in this,
When you say, but I'm talking about renderings and streetscapes because.
yeah, it was all developed under those people, and you can see it in our budgets. We dedicated money to them. And while the latest one with Eric Peterson was all contributed to a Google document that was maintained through a Google document.
Pictures and ideas of
Yeah.
what we would want.
That was,
I've never seen.
well, it's got to exist somewhere, and we'll try to get that to you. The Booker study obviously is online that can be accessed, and also,
You don't know the existence of something, they don't know.
okay, but then we're going to establish at this meeting that we're going to find this stuff, because we've brought this up several times. So today I want to establish that we need to find this as a group and put it into all the information that we need to move forward on this project.
It's been done.
Okay, no, we've talked about this several times, Renee. Okay, so we're just making that part of the meeting today.
We want to make sure that before this gets too far down the road, that we get the input that we need. Maybe it can't be included because of cost or some other design reason, but we do want to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity, and then all of a sudden the concept is done, the plan is done, and they're out for bid, and we're just stuck with whatever the county decides to do.
In the critical part, now we the permission or without us background.
Right.
And then see if the supplement or the additional scope agreement that the county proposed with their engineer is sufficient for our needs or we need more. I can tell maybe from this discussion that we will need more.
Right.
So we will need to make that provision right away and send it back to the county because that's the agreement that they're gonna want to
Right.
sign. And then get it into the works. The only thing they don't want is to disrupt their project schedule.
Right. I
Correct.
can understand that.
Right.
But I think we made our point today that we need someone to run point for us, and we are counting on you to do that.
Or if one of our or somebody on this, just go with you to these meetings and we know when these meetings are. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
I think. That's what I think. Make forward.
Awesome. Okay, Chris, so you're gonna run a lot of that down and I'm gonna see what I can find in record. Okay. All right, so between Chris and Jeff and I will get as much information from our end as we can and we'll get that to both you and Renee, okay? And you guys can see what you can find on your end and let us know. I'd greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody have any more questions on the streetscape? All right. We'll move on to budget with Gregory Donovan.
Oh. Thank you.
Booker.
Booker.
Focus on the.
Cotton.
Oh.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. Budget workshop, oh, I got that proposed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
That sounds right too. Cochran's.
Well, budget committee, and we would like to get, requests entered this week, next, so that we can move the budget forward. Just an overall picture of the first presentation to the budget to the city council. What you have in front of you is a budget performance report, which shows you year to date, the budget. And then we also have a budget worksheet report that shows, previous year information going back to 2020. Actual amounts, so both in terms of revenue that came in and related expenses, and then what was put into the 2025 budget. I included some detail that on that particular report was on transaction detail, but I don't it'd be a little confusing because it doesn't look like part that you really have control over, which is related to bodies, professional services, advertising, transaction amounts without getting above the total budget. So here to answer any questions. Really, the time is now to give the requests related to expenses to Ms. Tyler so that if the to the budget process. So I would say probably a highlight to the what we call the non-600 account lines. So the account lines under 699 are personnel services. So reflective of the work Parks and Recreation allocates towards business district. On page 3 of that the market document tables, we have the administrative support section. Our here, local services, which include recycling, same package, lighting out some portable bathrooms brought in. That amount, advertising is 2,500 budgeted. Electricity parking lots, lights. And finally, you have 2,000 set aside for facade beautification grants.
Is the disposal services just for the one recycling bin that we have on the back Alma lot?
And he said that porta potties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
We're going back in July, but,
That's for-
I like it, sorry, but they just pay the bill.
Oh, no.
But,
That makes sense. I was asking them kind of like, is that that's the only one that we have
Yes.
Well, we have two on there now, Republic and Waste Management,
on the Alma lot?
on
or-
the Alma lot.
Republic is supposed to, they should
Oh.
have picked up the dumpster last.
Yeah, they
They're-
haven't,
so
Swapping
we're
out.
gonna get it.
and
We're
it's,
no longer using them.
and it's full now,
Okay.
old way full.
Thank you, yeah, the dumpster have been gone.
Just so I understand, and I'm not trying to be picky here, is I don't tend to use that, too much. We just dispose of our own waste. Does all of it just go for the restaurant?
It's just recycling stuff.
Oh, I know, but when I went out there a couple times, it was just full, but it was all restaurant stuff. It's like, it almost is just there.
All cardboard restaurant stuff. I know that yesterday I took 2 bags that have been sitting beside it and put it in the dumpster for Lewis that's picking up today, but I don't know. It's just full of cardboard.
Business district, but on our side, it's, our lot has its own, and the business owners pay for it in our parking lot behind my building. So
I-
typically, our side of the street does not use the home lot because we pay for our own.
Yeah, I kind of don't understand why we're even paying for that.
That's what I was kind of going for. If they want one, they can have one, but I would just figuring they would assume the cost if they're using it.
They do, I mean, it is supposed to be just for recycling. It may be when they were just starting up, they were,
Oh,
getting
it-
lots of boxes.
Yeah, when I went out there before, it looked like it was just one business using it all. So I was like, why don't they
I
just
don't
take
think
it?
so.
Actually,
It's primarily 2 businesses using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but It's for everybody to use.
Yeah, we use it. I mean, Lewis uses it.
Okay,
We've got a box, we break it down.
okay.
But just recycling, not,
But-
we got the trash.
Because that whole parking lot behind us is owned by somebody else, we have no option for a place to put trash or recycling.
No,
So
you,
we would-
Oh, yeah.
I
you
mean,
can
I-
buy spots on that one and put them on ours. That's what I was thinking, if you needed more.
What's that?
We already have it on Alma. I was just saying if that was what you were using for everything and you had to put 2 of them there to cover it, we already have one there. It wouldn't be a big deal probably.
Right.
So what were you saying last meeting about, do you need extra?
We need a trash solution. I mean, right now, we're renting space from the business owner.
Uh-huh.
And we're paying way more than we would if we just went straight to a company and had our own dumpster. But we have no place to put a dumpster. So our only option would be to put that dumpster on a public parking lot. And I know they said it just needs to be a formal request, but I don't even know what that means. I mean.
What do you do with your
I'm formally
regular,
requesting.
What is everyone doing with their regular trash on that side of the street?
Okay.
Go away.
Some people have rollaway, like, the 64-gallon carts that they put out on the street.
That the city's picking up or?
No,
or
that
it's-
they
We
pay for
it.
pickup.
Pay their own.
I really don't see why we're paying for recycling on that lot then.
So if we get rid of the city having anything on that lot and you take over pickup on that lot and the business owners pay you, is that reasonable?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, is that reasonable, Renee?
If that's what you want to do.
For
Okay.
recycling too?
Recycling and
Yeah.
trash.
That's what we have on our side.
What-
We
what-
say we pay.
Whatever they
Rob
want to
Hill.
do there, but we, the district, don't need to be paying for that.
Correct.
We're not paying for it on our side of the street.
And we're not obligated to use waste management.
No.
Because I have quotes from Waste Connections that are way less than waste management.
I have,
Yeah, it's whoever you decide to put on that side.
I have an 8,
Yeah, I don't know, whatever they give me when I call and give me a price, it's probably not the same that they give you.
No, it's not.
So,
I have
We
an
can
8,
talk about
I have an 8-yard container for trash. It's $135 a month,
how many times they pick up?
once a week,
But it's 8 yards. Okay.
8 yards.
So that the recycling bin out there is 4 yards. And they pick that up once a week. Is that
I don't even know. I've never even seen.
I think it's
it.
once a week. It's Wednesdays. That's kind of what I've been following. The business owner that we were renting from is a 2-yard dumpster that we have to have picked up 3 times a week to accommodate the trash for the 2 restaurants and then anybody else who's using it, she's using it.
It'd be much cheaper if you just all split it up.
Yeah, if we just had that 4-yard trash and a 4-yard recycling bin, I think we could get away with this 2 times a week maybe, and it's a lot cheaper than what we're paying waste
Yeah,
management.
so
for.
if you want to be the lead on your side of the street
Yeah,
for
I'm happy
that,
to be.
okay. And then we have
I
Bob
just
Hill
need to know
on
from
my
the city
parking
that
lot.
it's okay, because I don't want to start.
that. State's okay.
Okay.
Authority to tell you.
Tip-
So then we just need to coordinate pickup of waste management and then the drop off of the new containers.
It's okay, but typically those are under a contract where you cannot terminate the contract without paying for what's left on the time. So
Okay,
And it sounds like you're basically gonna be switching one service, one payer for another payer.
So in that one far parking spot, we're just gonna put 2 dumpsters there that you and Silva D's will use, kind of, right?
Well, it would be open for everybody that wants to pay and contribute to the.
Got it.
cost
yeah,
of
if they're
Got
putting
it,
trash,
got
they
it.
need
So-
to pay you, yeah.
Yeah, they'll pay you.
Yep.
Right,
Okay, and you'll take care of billing them and all that.
Yeah.
that's all easy.
So as far
Okay.
as the budget goes, X out the,
Well, it goes to porta potties on the 4th of July.
But we don't need the part of it goes to porta potties.
Right. So whatever our porta potties cost.
you might leave it in the budget till you
Yeah.
know you can cancel the contract.
Sound good?
And
And then the other question I had about budget is when we get to construction of depending on how long the construction takes for the whole streetscape, hopefully starting in, the budget, the construction year of 2027, we're probably not going to do all the planters and everything else during that time. So do we suspend the Parks and Recreation budget for that year that we're undergoing construction because we won't have planters in our area?
Are you aware of any, all the services they provide? You know that they take care of flowers, but what else do they provide for you? Is there heating, mowing or anything like that, or?
no snow.
I don't, so we got rid of our snow removal on our sidewalks. So we no longer paid for that because just wasn't happening. Our business district the snow removal wasn't occurring, so we just stopped paying for that portion of it. I don't know in the public parking lots, snow removal, if that's under Parks and Recreation, I don't know what that falls under. And then, the train station is required, the train club is required to mow their grass around the train station. That's not part of our Parks and Recreation budget that I am aware of, but I'm not positive on that.
So what we did for this year, just so everybody knows, is that we had budgeted for one full-time person for all the business districts, 10% that person's costs were allocated. So that would, we would want to make sure that Tyler is working on scopes of work for each of these districts, so negotiate that there, and then we can remove it if there's not going to be service provided in the course of the fiscal year, and take that out of the budget. That's fine.
I mean, we just, as a business district, maybe with the new streetscape, if we want to change our pots or something like that, we can use that budget that year instead of buying plants to maybe buy different pots for just something, that we could
But previously
or
that
differently.
10% was not allocated to us. Nothing was we didn't have any cost for that.
So the way the budget was done previous years is that it was assumed that services were being provided and a transfer was done from each of the three business districts to the general funds as repayment for those services. This fiscal year, 25, is the first time that we allocated those out to business districts. The goal was to get it set up to begin to demonstrate what those actual costs were. And while it's not so much applied to your business district, the other business districts were I believe that conceptually they thought that the cost was far less. So it's trying to establish in everybody's mind, what are the true costs of providing certain level of service. That's why I've done this year, is trying to be, and I personally want to drive even more specificity or precision in terms of what are the actual costs. I don't manage, obviously, the personnel that go there, so I don't have an idea of exactly how much time that is spent in your business district. I was simply given the directive last year that it was about 10%. So that's.
Okay.
So
That's
this is a number that wasn't in previous years.
Right.
That's being charged to us.
Mhm.
Where's the line item total? This is such a,
Services, I think, down here in the contractual services.
I see where salaries 4,500, work comp 609.
personnel.
Wow.
Mhm.
Which sheet are you looking at? Report?
The budget worksheet report. So I see the 601 line.
Yep. All costs. Bottom line is that.
$6,000.
Yeah, $6,300. That person, that's 10% of their cost. In the past, if you look at, on that same, report, if you look at the first page under revenue. You can line on item 999, operating transfers out. That was what you were sending to the general fund. To, in part, cover that person, the work. That's money actually coming out of the work. There's been really coming off next year, but there's that discussion with Parks and Recreation yesterday. Apparently, there are a number of people who are actually pulling in and out of this district. So as we improve our technology related to timekeeping, which until a year and a half ago, I had pulled it on paper. We'll be able to continue to refine and create a decision around where they're at.
And no, I think we'll just have to see how it washes out at the end of the year and what the budget number actually, how close it is to what actually happens.
All right. Anybody else have questions about budget? All right.
Sure.
One last thing, we have $480 for parking lot lighting. Is that just to pay the electric bill or is that not any of the maintenance of, because we had on our Alma lot, most of the lights are burnt out or broken that go around the parking lot.
Right, I did a little survey. There's 12 stand lights. There's no overhead light. at
Yeah.
all.
And I didn't know if part of that budget was we could use it to fix those or put bulbs in them or something.
That was not what we're, is Public Works has been absorbing that.
This was just for the electricity for the,
No, but I'm speaking to the bulk and things
Yeah.
like that.
Was it like landscape lighting,
Yes,
Chris?
just little bollards.
yeah, they're like
Oh.
ballers that go
Ballers
along.
that have
It just is really dark back there and not that anyone's scared to walk over there, but it would be nice if it was lit up if people are walking back and forth at night. Putting trash, walking around, extended parking for anything.
Those lights, we didn't put out. There was an issue with one of the overhead lights that was in,
there's no
that we
overhead light.
replaced. I think it was on the Alma parking lot. That, we had to do something with the light pole.
Yeah, there's no pole.
No,
I don't remember, I don't
There's a-
know, it's a weird lot where it's, cause I
Yeah.
think they didn't want to pull because there's houses right around.
It's their apartment complex. So that was Webster's lot and they put that
Yeah,
lighting in.
It's that, but balance.
There is no
Bollard.
full light there because of the apartment complex. So those low lights are Webster.
They're just like this tall poles and they've got holes in them that the lights come around the outside.
So it was determined that landscape lighting went in there instead of the overhead lighting.
Because I did ask our superintendent of public works,
Mhm.
Frank, which I'm sure everybody knows, to go out and tell me that those are not. Maybe they weren't under public works, so we need to do some investigating.
Mhm.
So-
Just put the light there.
No, they weren't all like
Actually,
that. They were full.
So there's all the ballards run around there. So
Every
they-
day. One was down, knocked down.
Here.
They fixed that one.
or
Or at least somebody stood it
or
up.
something, but on this, they just cut down in DDA, so we just need help getting
We
those.
need to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, get that fixed.
City owns the Alma lot,
Yes,
but is there like a right away? I don't know. So that's, for these lights are,
There's-
city owned property or?
yes.
Yeah.
all,
Mhm.
all
They're
city
all
owned.
It's all city owned.
Medians around the lot with curb.
Mhm.
and greenery. They do, I know they cut up the greenery, so.
The electric charge is for the lights behind Heidi's building.
Oh, got it. Just
and
for those, on the share or in the,
on the Webster lot, that's the east lot, so behind the acupuncture, behind
Yeah,
your building,
big-
those, the
yep.
electric
well,
charge is for those lights.
I would love, I didn't know if there was a budget line item. I'd just love to get those ballards fixed. And it looks really pretty back there when they're turned on too.
Actually, with the new lighting, they could look at putting an overhead light in there on an LED that's just a,
Facing down.
yeah,
But honestly, right now, we've got those units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just need a bulb or something. It would be nice to, I just don't know how to do it.
Maintained.
The short answer to your question, what is being built, that account is.
Got
Frankly, that's the wrong account line for that to be built, confusion of you yesterday. We have an electricity account line and actually the electricity account line, and then this line would actually be set aside for things like a child actual. Those lines.
Really, 850 then would be the maintenance of the lights that we're talking about, trying to get the light bulbs fixed.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
as opposed to the Ameren bills.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, commission report to council. I don't think I'm sure what this is.
Would that be what Laura would do?
I think that's. Hmm. Hmm, okay. Yep, okay. Now I
Oh,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
the one that was supposed to be written up.
Okay,
Yeah, mission, purpose, duties.
okay. I did not, but I
I
will
got
look
the
into it.
form. Here's the form.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Almost like a. Oh, that might be something else.
So Linda that, so I will put that together and get that to everybody. Not with me, but I do have it. Okay. All right. I was just talking about this to the mayor on Monday.
Wait, jump into business?
Yep, let's jump to new business. And facade grant application from Lewis and Associates. This is their new awning that they had put back on their building. And did everybody get a copy of this, or do they need to look at it?
I didn't really show any pictures when I printed out.
To look at it too.
I need to see.
They applied for a facade grant for putting the new awning on their building that was ripped off during a storm. I was super happy to see you guys got the ends finally.
Yeah, I got the answer. This is me parking in the no parking spot. I can take the picture.
Was there a color on there?
Just green.
Color?
Green.
It didn't change anything. They just had to replace what was torn off. And then these things, some of these underneath the awning had to be replaced too. They broke up.
So we need a motion.
Okay, so we'll have a motion to approve the facade grant application for 2,000. Anybody want to motion to approve that?
I'll motion to approve.
And anyone want to second?
I'll second.
Right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, say nay. All right, so we do approve the facade grant application. And then Renee, I believe then the check has to come from out of our budget to them, yeah. So that they can have their $2,000 facade grant.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now the BDC update. And Julia is not here. Or is she by? I don't think she's in by Zoom. So we'll put that out by next meeting. We'll get that from Julia.
Isn't there a party or a coffee or something between now and then?
Yeah, they haven't, that I'm aware of.
Okay. And there was just another meeting at Maypop later? Or was-
Yes, but it has not been set yet. Mhm.
Okay.
The last I talked to her anyway. City update?
So we are, a few things, the code will be presenting their final draft of the comprehensive plan. We expect to be, in the week of March, we're very excited about it. We also, I don't know.
Crossroads. It's somewhere.
I just remembered the plan under Mara Perry's name, that we did under Mara Perry, just remember the plan. So it was the river study first, and then it was the east-west gateway. But I have to mention, it's suddenly.
Right, the East-West Gateway, there was a
Yeah.
grant that we're trying to get, yeah,
So,
we didn't get it.
yeah, it's so order to.
Right.
There
I'm sure.
by the time I'm done with it, but. Yeah, right now it's just a matter of, I'm doing onboarding and calling and.
Great.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of your business. In operation that.
I was.
Yeah,
This is
we
very friendly.
Yeah,
Some of us have gotten much older.
right. And having
Yeah.
lived here since 1960, yeah, you'd see me around.
Well, as I said, I was here back then and happy to be back. You know, I've been bouncing around mostly in the St. Louis region. I've done cities up in the Chicago area. Yeah, excited to start.
Super.
We're way better.
Weather is absolutely.
Yeah. Especially this week.
Yeah. Mhm.
Where's your sister?
Answer.
Yeah. I haven't heard that name in 20. Sorry, there's a lot of that going around. Do you have any questions for me?
Not yet, but I'm sure we will.
I said dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, I would say Renee's running the point, but whatever is appropriate out here and happy to help and happy to be back aboard.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one other update. I think it was good news. We have started working on the building lights. And I haven't really had a conversation with Crossroads. You guys have been pretty quiet, but I put Edge Road here. The city is putting lights. We're working to advance internet the outside of the buildings have lines. So we started. Talking about rooftop light.
Yeah, that's a show me lights or whatever.
Show me electric.
Show me electric, okay.
So, right now, we're working in Orchard, we'll move up to,
Webster, of
Webster,
course.
and the idea was, it will come to Crossroads. So, hopefully, by October, Webster will have definitely in all businesses.
So
That is the goal.
they're working or they're just putting together proposals?
No. They are working.
How do we,
Now, is this something that Webster is funding for the districts, or the districts are funding this, or who's funding?
In some instances, we were paying, for some, we pay all of the install, and others we pay 50% of the install, and we take care of the maintenance.
So why is there a difference for each district?
Just things.
Who decided?
This is pretty neat. This has been in the
Old Webster has 50% of the installations paid by the district. The property owner and 50% is paid by the district.
Mhm.
Old Orchard decided they wanted to move faster and they just did 100%.
Mhm.
It's paid by the district.
Oh, so it's either paid by the district, or this is not paid by Webster. If the district is the budget. we have a
Okay.
line item.
Correct, so it's money that's coming from the general fund into, yes. So that's.
So it would be, you guys don't currently have a program? but would
No,
you
we don't.
have- You decide to apply.
Okay.
So then we go and say, okay, do you wanna pay for part of it, and then we all.
Right.
Do 50%, or we.
Okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Whatever.
I thought we were saying, I thought this. Webster's paying 100% of it or 50, so I think,
Right.
you know what, they pay 100%, that sounds good.
Well,
Right.
when we say Webster, though, it is, at the end of the day, it is Webster. But these are line items that are on the Old Webster and Old Orchard.
But it's never been a line item on. Okay.
So this is something that can be.
Is that something we need to decide now, since we're doing the 25 budget?
Do we have any idea what the cost is?
We don't even have a number.
So I'm probably looking at Old Webster. We're probably looking at 7,000
So,
to 10,000.
but we discussed this at last meeting. We discussed this at the last meeting. And so to understand what this would be to our budget, you had said that somebody from Show Me Electric, I said that they could contact me. So to understand what this is to our budget, who do I contact? So I can't, okay,
So
but not action, just budget, okay?
you budget, yes.
Yes, so
They have started action, 'cause they
I don't need action though, but I need to go to my business district and say this is what it means to our budget.
First thing, he's gonna need to. And I can get him up there.
Right.
You'll be able to.
Okay,
Because you have.
right. So I just, to answer the budget question for my district, I would need to know what it is. So I would still be the point of contact so we can answer that budget question. And then the second step would be action. And I fully understand that we are going to fall behind Old Orchard and Old Webster, but I still need to answer the budget question. Okay,
So it's okay if I can make you guys, you know, that would be.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Mhm.
And then I assume people are gonna have the option to opt out. You don't want lights.
Okay. Any more for the city update? Okay, now I do have a question regarding the CID. And I know that you had, that Gilmore Bell was taken off the agenda for today because they had not given a briefing to council. So the first time that we met with Gilmore Bell, they had not pre-briefed the council before meeting with us. So I don't understand, I do not fully understand why it required a briefing to council before meeting with us.
So honestly, I would suggest that you can speak with the mayor. That's why I included her. I'm following the directives.
You're following what?
I'm following the directives. I am following my directives. They want, my boss wanted the city council to be able to retain before we started rolling out,
Before what? I can't hear. I'm really hard of hearing. I'm sorry.
I understand. And I don't have my phone. As I was saying, the city manager asked that we prep the council, because the council has to make a determination of how it wants to go forward with bringing in Gilmore Mill and what type, they had not made a decision. They had not been fully, apprised of what was going on. So I was asked, pause Gilmore Mill's presentation to Crossroads. It's not saying that you're not going to get your presentation, but the city manager preferred that the council, that she meet with the council in Gilmore Mill first.
Okay. But I don't understand the word presentation because,
Conversation. However you want, it was a conversation during a closed session.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, they wanted them to have the conversation with the council prior to having any conversations going forward with the business districts.
so when is that conversation going to take place?
The first one took place at the council.
Okay, so now can Gilmore Bell come?
I have. Once that's green lighted, we will set it up.
Because all we're doing is asking questions about a CID.
You do understand,
I understand that. But we've already had a meeting, just asking questions, understanding what a CID is that didn't require a presentation to council. So you understand my confusion, right?
yes, but I still have to follow the directive that I'm given.
Okay.
So I have not been green lighted for us to bring it in.
Okay,
Council is still running, council is still having conversations, and I don't know that they're ready to go public with their opinions. So until I'm told, please bring in Gilmore Mill to meet with various business districts, we won't bring it in. So I'm waiting for my directive.
Can the council veto something that we decide to do?
You cannot decide to do it unless they approve it. So this is the understanding that I'm told that they have the ability and the right to make a determination which way it sees fit for this to progress. So the commissions can't do you can't just do things on your own. We're appointed by council. So it's again, we serve at the pleasure of. So they have
It's a matter of
to
who's gonna pay.
be in alignment with what they want the plan to be that's proposed to the various districts.
gotcha. Okay. So when Gilmore Bell meets with council, is that an open meeting or a closed meeting?
I don't know when the next meeting. I don't know that council decided they want the next meeting, but they are having conversations about it.
Okay.
So, right now, I'm giving you all the information that I have.
Okay. All right,
And when I get more to share, I will definitely reach out.
okay.
To you.
Does anybody have anything else before our next? And our next meeting is set for March 19th. Anybody have any conflicts with that date?
Nope.
All right. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right. See you guys on the 19th at 8.